everyone, and welcome back to the AOS crowd. My name's Quinn, and today I am joined by
Me, it's Math Mellow.
Mellow. Woot woot. We are coming to you today to bring the festive spirit. If this video releases as planned, it'll be the weekend before Christmas. So yeah, wishing every single one a happy holiday season, and hope that you'll be receiving many gifts, and just get to spend time with your family, I guess. So today, been a bit of a stretch and a long while since we've had Matt on the channel. So what have you been up to?
I've been busy, so basically, I have been. Well, I came over to the American side of the world, effectively.
Hmm.
I kind of always come over to. Um, so there's an American holiday for those of you who aren't in America called Thanksgiving, which always happens the week after a big event that we're talking about today, which
Hmm.
is the World Championships of Warhammer.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Worlds.
AOS Worlds. Yes.
AOS Worlds, whatever that was officially called. This is the Games Workshop run World Championships of Warhammer, which is a golden ticket invitational,
Hmm.
which means that you have to have won another event that is qualifying, that gives you a golden ticket that allows you to come over here and play in this event, basically. Um, and then I always come over here after. So I have family in California. So
Hmm.
this event is in Atlanta. So I go to Atlanta, and then I come over to California for the rest of the year normally. So Atlanta was the destination of this event. It's its second year, so it's definitely still in its infancy, the event. Um, I went last year as well. Um, but yeah, it was really good. I was lucky enough to win my golden ticket a week after um a week after last year's World
Hmm.
Championships.
Yeah.
So I was able to plan pretty early because I know, because as you can imagine, a lot
Hmm.
of things with this event is it's quite expensive to come to Atlanta and to have a hotel and all this kind of stuff. And some events do offer paid structures, so they offer, like, if you win that event, you get your flights paid for or things like
Hmm.
that. So Games Workshop events in the US usually offer those,
Yeah.
but generally there's not that many of them. So
Hmm.
I did really angle to get one of them. I won my from a tournament in the Netherlands, where they have quarterly tournaments in the Netherlands, called Thresholds, hosted by the Threshold Tactics guys.
Yes.
If you haven't watched their channel, you should. They
Highly
do really good.
recommend their battle reports.
Yeah, absolutely, they do great battle reports. Um, so I won mine there on the first week, which meant I could book my flights and my accommodation ages ago. Um, so yeah, it was a it's always the event, or one of the events of the year, that you kind of, if you kind of have to plan ahead to go, because it's such a
Hmm.
big thing, and it's definitely worth going to.
Yeah.
So for me, the prep this year was a little bit different to last year. So
Hmm.
last year I came a bit more locked in. Uh, so last year the build up to Atlanta was, I was playing Gits last year,
Hmm.
and I played in build up. I played I played like 3 tournaments, and then I played Raccoon Rumble the week
Hmm.
before.
Yeah.
And then I went into things playing the same list, so I was very prepared. Um, and I went. Uh, so the system, the way it works there is you have a pod system. So you get pre-allocated into a pod, which has some complicated rules, but essentially it's based on your nationality. You can't really be in the same. I'm from Wales, so I can't be in the same pod as anyone else from my country. Um, and the way it works is that you play 4 games in your pod, and 2 people go through in each pod.
Hmm.
Uh, and then that will form the top 16. It's basically how it works.
Yeah.
So the top 2 from each pod, and then there might be like a shadow round, and there might be all this kind of stuff, but effectively that's the concept. So
Mhm.
last year I went 3-1. I think actually last year 4, but I went 3-1 and I missed out. I lost to Noah last year by a point, so I didn't make it through.
Mhm.
So I made it to the second cut. And in my head, from a preparation perspective, this year I was a lot less locked in the building.
Mhm.
Uh, um, so we just had. So I didn't play Six Nations last year, and I played Raccoon Rumble. And Six Nations is a big team event that we've covered on the channel.
Mhm.
Um, that was awesome, but it takes a lot of prep for that event. So I was locked in, and obviously I was locked in on Lumineth. As those of you in the channel know, pretty much
Yes.
all of the past videos we've done have been Lumineth.
I
That's
think
what
it
I've been
was
playing.
3 or 4 tournament reviews
Yeah,
thus
it's 3 or
far.
4 events Lumineth, and they're all kind of reliant on the win variety because the tech is what I like to play with, which
Mhm.
obviously is now kind of unplayable. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's not kind of unplayable; it is unplayable at the top level. Um, so I did look at a lot of different options of what to play
Mhm.
going into this event, but my mentality was that I didn't think there was a list that I could play well enough to beat some of the best. Well, based on my performance last year and where I
Mhm.
sit in the world,
Yes.
I don't think I'm good enough with any list that I could sort of magic up in that time to beat players like Ronya, Casper, Big Phil,
Mhm.
Yorin. Like I don't think I have the capacity with a list in that time frame. So I didn't plan to do that. And I was like, there's going to be 3 killers in my bracket, which was the same last year, and then I'm not going to be able to push them out. So I'm not gonna make it to the top cut. That was kind of my mentality. I understand
Mhm.
why that's not necessarily the best mentality. I've talked to a lot of
Yeah.
people about this, but that was kind of my idea. Was I was going all the way there. I wanted to do well, but I didn't want to have any dependency on doing well, especially when I didn't have access to any kind of list that I felt that comfortable with.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Last minute
uh,
changes.
so, so basically, because of that, I did the classic. I'll put it to the back of my mind. I won't think about it. That's fine. Like I've got this I'm comfortable with, whatever. And then I was out on a walk with my partner, and um, I got a call from Tomo, who was one of the TOs,
Mhm.
um, being like, you have 20 minutes to submit your list, right?
Oh no.
And I was like, I did not know that because I'd forgotten that the list. It's totally my fault, obviously, but
Yes.
I'd totally forgotten that the list cutoff was in American time, not UK time, not
Mm.
Dutch time. So I was expecting a midnight cutoff. So I was like, I have to midnight. And then at like 3 p.m., I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't work.
Oh no.
So we got home. So we raced home. I sort of looked at the lists I had, and I had one really fun one that I was that I wanted to play, and I thought it'd be a good time. So I locked in my Sylvaneth list.
Oh no.
Uh, um,
Oh god.
and yeah.
Not the
so
trees.
so there's an interesting thing with the trees because there are some very strong tree lists right now. There are good tree
Yes.
lists. They are the problem with trees, or the problem I have with trees, is that the play style that they have is completely different. So I've obviously played a lot of trees, but their play style is all around dancing and not getting hit and kind of trying to play wide and then push in and try and pick apart your opponent. That's kind of always how it's
Mhm.
been. Right now, it's not like that. The better list you see tend to have like obviously you have Alarielle and you have to roll 4 ups, and then like Barthanos
Yes.
and swords or sides is probably better, but and relying on that 3-up fight first
Mhm.
is kind of a lot of what you see. And I talked to a lot of people at the event about this, and um, they do feel quite strong
Mhm.
if you get your dice rolls.
Yeah.
But all the playstyle that they inherently have with those lists don't really cater to what I want to do as a player.
Mhm.
Which is why I struggle with them a bit. But I wanted to try. I was like, they're my labor of love, so to speak. So we we locked in a wild list. Um, so um, Do you want to hear what the list is, Quinn?
Yes.
Do you want to hear a
Very,
list of
very
chaos?
much. Yes, very much. Take me
So,
through it. I'm preparing myself.
you're ready? Okay.
Yes. I
So,
listen and I don't judge.
okay, so Lady of Vines. So the judging has started already. I like it. So
Throw that out of the window. I'm judging.
so we have the Lady of Vines and 6 Kurnoth with sides. Now the
Yes.
idea that I had with this, okay, uh, is that I wanted something to play around -1 attacks effectively,
Hmm.
because I was really worried about how dominant some of the armies that kind of play around multi attacks were, and
Yes.
I in my head in m- in my head having the Lady of Vines in the middle of 6 sides with a 2 up -1 to hit or +1 to hit with a 3 up fight
Hmm.
burst is actually kind of good in theoretically. Okay, theoretical
Yes.
Warhammer is very good, right?
On
Like, well, I've got
paper,
dice
it
rolls,
looks
I'll go
nice.
all in, right? On ball in, it looks nice, right?
Yeah.
Was the concept, and it is nice. It's just easy to play around. But yeah, so that was the thing. So that's one. That's my general regiment, and then we had a branch witch,
Hmm.
which is basically mandatory in Sylvaneth
Yes.
lists that play this kind of way, which is just wholly within 12, 3 up fight burst in your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
That's what she does. And
Mm-hmm.
then she's obviously giving me the 3 up spell ignore with the artifact and stuff. But yeah, she's in there. And then we've got the wild take, which is 2 units of twist weld.
Hmm.
Which
I don't think.
most of my conversations at the World Championships were, what is a twist weld?
Yeah. What do they do?
Yeah,
It's the for
is that the deep
reference.
strike unit? Like,
Yeah. For reference, the twist wheel is like this war cry unit that released
yeah,
in tandem with the OBR unit, with the
yeah,
bone horse and the
mhm,
bone birds and the bone
yeah.
dogs, and I don't think I've ever seen it on the tabletop.
I
Where you
mean,
see the
no one did it.
cohorts.
No one did it at the World Championships either. Um,
You see the OBR cohort being taken more and more now as like
yeah, yes.
a
They
more
have the
flexible
deep strike, right?
option
They have
for
big
deep
strike.
strike and such, but I don't even know what they do. Yeah.
So, the idea
I'm puzzled.
is that they're 130 points. They're not bad.
Yes.
Okay, they're just they're 8 models with 2 wounds each. So they're 60 wounds.
That's
They're on
not
5 up.
bad.
They shoot. They have 7 attacks, model in shooting, because the
Mhm.
leaders, the shooting guys. There's 7 attacks,
Yes.
3s and 4s. No rend damage 1. Then in combat, they hit like Spite Revenants just without the crit mauls, and then they have like 2 Tree Revenants. They're basically like a combination of Tree Revs and Spite Revs. Is kind of what they are
Okay.
combat wise. Um, Obviously don't teleport, but the cooler, unique ability they have is that they within 12 in either charge phase, they can reduce charges by they can pick a enemy unit and they can reduce the charge by D3.
Oh,
So it's
D3.
fun by D3. Yeah, flat D3. It's not on a 3 up. It's just flat D3. So it's in my head anyway. I thought we were going to see a lot more Beast of Chaos and armies like that. And things with Deep Strike and being able to reduce their charges when they come in from Deep Strike is actually kind of fine. And the idea with them is that if they die early, which is the idea of them because they're screens,
Mm-hmm.
then Alarielle brings them back on a 4 up and they give me something early to roll for.
Yes.
That is, they're 8 models, but 3 of them are effectively champion models.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can bring back 4 models with 3 of the champion models.
Ah,
So you're
okay. Yeah,
reviving
yeah.
to half strength. That's kind of the idea. So I was like, I'll take units to them. The managed charge ability is 1% army, but like it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's stuff that I think. But it was just a fun concept, and I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
see how impactful, because reducing charges can often be quite good. So I wanted to see if it would be any kind of good.
Yes.
Um, and then I had Queenie herself, obviously. So Alarielle, talking about that 4 up.
Yes.
Alarielle kind of ties every list together, I find.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had Tree Lord as well.
Big boy.
The big Tree Lords. And then I was playing Twillet because I love Twilio. Super fun.
Yes.
Super fun
Best lore.
instructions. Best lore. For narrative purposes, best lore.
Yes.
And then I was obviously playing. I have 3 monsters, so I was playing Lord of the Clan, which is you heal 3 every turn.
Yeah.
At the end of every turn, sorry, obviously. Which is actually very fun. So yeah, so that was kind of the list. A, a lot. I just picked something where I could do a lot of different techie stuff and just have basically.
Hmm.
I in my head I was like, I can force. Well, I was trying to design a list to force people to come into it and then roll that 3 up. But the reality is that you don't really have to, which I knew anyway, but you don't have to do that. You can play around it, especially with things like Stormcast and stuff like
Hmm.
this. You
Yeah.
don't need to go in. Which is yeah, which I knew. I was like, okay, that's fine. Those are reds, that's whatever. Um so yeah, so that was the list.
Hmm.
The prep we've talked about a bit.
Yeah.
Already there wasn't anywhere near as much as I would usually do for these kind of things, but
Hmm.
there's definitely still enough that I was sort of ready. Um, and then yeah, and then this event starts on a Thursday. Um,
Yes.
and you play 4 days, play 2 games a day, 8
Hmm.
games in total.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I flew out on the Wednesday night, no, the Tuesday night actually.
Hmm.
And then yeah, had a good time. I stayed in a B&B on the Tuesday and then moved into the hotel on the Wednesday.
Yes.
So I shared with Tom Guan and Mike Stewart
Oh, nice.
our room, which was fun. So that was nice. We had a good time.
Hmm.
Obviously, if you know Tom, Tom was raiding till like 4 a.m., which is classic Tom. On Worm.
Hmm.
So yeah, it
He's
was
a
a big.
machine.
It's okay. I was also playing TFT, so it's also fine. Um, yeah.
Superb. So,
So one of my favorite things about this event, by the way,
yes.
it's a bit like why I like Will so much is
Hmm.
it's the people, right? It's the culmination of everyone. It's so amazing to see everybody. That's like the caveat. It's just the best environment to see everybody, and it's a bit less intense than AOS Worlds
Yeah.
inherently. So you do get a lot more social time, I find, which is
Mm.
really awesome. So
Yeah. Basically, you're not necessarily fighting as 8 people in a team for a
yeah,
trophy. It's just you versus the rest of the world. And
yes,
basically, you're just matched with the people in your pot at the beginning.
yeah.
So,
At the beginning, it's just a pod, and it's the kind of thing as well as the way the system works for this event is that um, there's not a differential system really.
oh.
Um, so basically you get if you win by more than 5 points, you get a major win. Anything else
Hmm.
is a minor win. And then if
Yes.
you obviously and then the same the other way around. So and
Hmm.
that's the only thing that matters. And then your secondary is opponent's win percentage. Um, which is interesting, but what it means is that if you know you're going to lose by more than 5 points, it means that there's you don't get the slog. I don't want to say slog. You don't get the grafting at the end of the game that you often get
Yes. Hmm.
in Worlds environments where you know you're going to lose 18-2, but you're like, okay, but if I push this or push this, I can get a 14-6.
Hmm.
But you
Yeah.
sort of go, okay, you kind of lock in and you go, okay, I can win these 2 more games and I can get these. You
Yeah.
kind of don't, that kind of doesn't exist. You kind of just go, okay, cool. I think this game's over. We can talk this out a bit
Hmm.
easier. I find anyway. Um. So yeah. So I guess day one.
Yeah. Day one,
Um.
round one.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think I did anything too chaotic.
Yeah.
We went out for dinner. Like obviously stayed up late. Obviously it's a given.
Hmm.
Um. Atlanta has eh, like Atlanta's a very interesting place because it has like so we're staying in the hotel district is what it's
Yes.
called. But all the hotels have like because they're all high rises, right? And they have these like bridges across. They're like covered bridges
Oh,
that you can go
okay.
between
Yeah.
like every hotel. So you in theory don't have to go outside. It,
All right.
it's
Interesting.
cool. It's very sort of I don't want to say futuristic because it's not really, but it's a bit yeah, that kind of vibe.
Yes.
Um So yeah, so game one, I had I was like, okay, so obviously we've talked about what my main kind of red was,
Mm-hmm.
or at least I thought anyway, which was Stormcast.
Yes.
So obviously I played Stormcast round one, which is
Ah,
great.
lovely. The
Which
the
is
test of
yeah,
metal for the
the
Sylvaneth
test
list.
of metal, exactly right. So I played against Stark, Pista, who I
Hmm.
hadn't met before,
Yeah.
but he was great. I actually met him the day before, and then we played round one, which was really nice.
Oh,
But
fun.
Stark was great, and we had a good time. He was playing obviously Stormcast. He had 6 Paladors, um, the 6 of the combat Paladors, 6 long
Hmm.
strikes,
Yes.
Vigilers, Night Relic. It was a Cronus list with Morbid,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
and then obviously the Praetor's combo, like
Yeah.
the
The classic
but
Stormcast list you see running around
the
these days.
yeah. Slightly different, but generally speaking, yes.
Yes.
So this was an interesting game. I was I immediately remembered that I was playing without bows for the first time in forever,
Hmm.
and realized that long strikes were absolutely impossible for my army to do,
Yeah.
which is not what you want to realize immediately. So I had to play. Like I had to play out of my skin to do anything with that
Hmm.
list because obviously my whole army's are heroes, right? So I got 4 heroes on my list.
Yeah.
So Ren 3 into my heroes isn't great. Um, So I had to do like turn one, I had to do all kinds of shenanigans. I had to like so one of the tactics I was doing into shooting was I'd have a tree of 2 that I'd summon.
Hmm.
And I'd put the tree lord in there,
Yes.
1 inch onto the objective. And then
Uh-huh.
obviously in their turn I'd redeploy into the wood then, right? That's the idea.
Yes.
Um so Hark kind of played around that and teleported Cronus over, cast shackles behind me so
Hmm.
that I couldn't redeploy into the forest,
Yes.
which makes sense. But then I countercast Palisade in front of the Tree Lord. so,
You're
so
playing
the long strikes
five-dimensional
then couldn't.
chess
Yeah,
with
exactly
time
right. Like everyone
travel.
else is playing real armies, and I'm like, what? I can, I can what? so, that was. So I was. So I felt it was a lot of fun
Yes.
playing like this. To be honest, it felt a bit more. Um, like it felt a bit less like obviously after playing Lumineth for like 5 months, I guess.
Hmm.
Not 5 months. Yeah, maybe 5 months, something like that. I've been Lumineth for a long time.
July,
This edition.
August-ish,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not that long, but yeah, it's after playing them for that. When you just do everything is a given, right? You're like, I'm gonna kill that thing, I kill that thing, right? I want to move over here, I'm gonna move over here.
Hmm.
Going to the
Yes.
right, okay, I'm gonna do this and this and trying to play 8D chess to like live was quite
Yes.
fun.
Not even it's you're not even trying to win, you're just playing for
Yeah,
survival.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're like, if I don't do this, I lose. You're like, okay, what's the Giga combo? I described it a lot of the weekend of playing this army was like playing Blood Bowl. That's what it felt like.
Oh
Okay, if you've ever
yeah.
played Blood Bowl, where you're playing for those combos where you're like, okay, how do I get a 3 up, 2 up, 5 up? If I get all of
Yes.
those things, I like survive that turn.
Yes.
You're like, okay. So it
You're
felt like that.
basically fishing for combos that are
Yeah, exactly right. It's
mm,
like 2 dice upheld, like
maybe he
uh,
can't shoot me.
we had a really good time. It was a really, it was a fine game. It was, um, it was relatively close in the end.
Hmm.
But I couldn't win.
Yeah.
Like, I had like a few opportunities to catch Saka out, and I played for them, and I didn't, and I had to make like is like some kind of big counter charges or
Hmm.
like these mini micro things that I can play for. I just wasn't able to. I just couldn't deal with the long strikes effectively,
Yeah.
because I can't. I only have like 2 threat pieces, so it's hard for me to deal with everything, especially with long strikes covering fire. Just hurts.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. So we went 0-1 after game one.
Yes.
I think it ended something like it was like 40 to like 30 or something like that. It
Hmm.
wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still a red. So we were like, yeah, sure.
Immediately showed. Yeah.
Exactly right, and I took the slack a lot about this, and I actually really like his list. And he ended up making it into the top cut, which is hype, which is really cool. But I did really like his list. It felt the good little balance of everything, which was nice.
Yeah.
It was probably my favorite non-skewed Stormcast list that I've played against, which was cool. So yeah, so that was game one. And then we went for lunch at Chick-fil-A, which is a theme.
Nice.
Because yeah, there's like a food court there, so Chick-fil-A is kind of built in. And I went for lunch with Tongguan every day, so every day was kind of Chick-fil-A.
Very healthy.
So yeah, but what's hype about this event is that you only play 2 games a day.
Yeah. So you get more than enough time.
Each round is like 4 hours long, by the way. So yeah, so much time.
Juicy.
So which is nice because I actually get to speak to my opponents.
Yes.
And like meet people, which is nice because often you have to play the game and then meet them afterwards. You don't have time to interact with them properly. So this was really good. Yeah. So that was round 1. So then we lock in. We go for round 2. Now round 2, I played against. Oh, sorry. I didn't mention the battle plan. Sorry, the battle plan for round 1 was shifting objectives.
Oh God!
Why it was so difficult? Yeah. Sorry, I should have. It's quite an important detail. Yeah. So shifting Stormcast was not ideal.
Yes.
Because it meant that I obviously couldn't be on an objective and not threatened by long strikes.
Yes.
Not ideal. So yeah. So that was why that was. Well, I mean it's rough anyway, but that's why it was so rough. So round 2, my reward, was I got to play on Border War.
Oh yeah, how nice.
Against Trogs.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah.
I don't necessarily see a real difference because a 5-up ward is equal to a 4-up ward. Like.
Yeah. So once again, I was like, I don't know how I kill this.
So you get +2 to your save with an all defense. I've read 1. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Really
so
nice.
I can't be offensive effectively. But it was fine. I played it the kind of way that I think I'm supposed to play it, which is sort of obviously just dancing around, getting those points, forcing them off. You can kind of go in and grind with them because they do eventually win the grind, but you have a lot of healing, so you can do a lot of stuff with them. So you can make them rend 2, right? Because you make them like I know they don't want to charge the sides, but you often give them +1 rend. Something just so you can charge. So yeah, so that was because you have like this weird standoff in this matchup where 6 sides don't really want to charge 6 Trogs, and 6 Trogs also don't really want to charge 6 sides. Because they're in 3 then. So like it was an interesting exactly right. Like it's like so yeah, it was super close, super back and forth. The squigs are objectively a problem because the problem with the squigs is you just stand in 20 squigs and you go roll the 3 up. Because if you roll the 3 up, they die. That's fine. If you don't roll the 3 up, you die. That's fine. Basically, and on Border War you can't really hide. So that was fine. So
enjoyable. Best unit.
Exactly. It was a great game. I had a really, really great time. Ricky makes these. I've never seen anything as beautiful in my life, but Ricky makes these mats. I'm pretty sure Ricky makes them, but they're these mats that have every objective and every deployment laid out on them.
Oh.
So we used his mat. So you just lay his mat down, and then you don't need like any kind of deployment sticks. Basically, it's so insanely cool. It's so sick. It was just like being able to just look at the board and be like, oh, there's the 9-inch level thing up, and there's the 11 up. And then if you're like close in the chest, it's just very obvious where you need to be.
Yeah.
It felt like playing on TTS is what it felt like, which is way better. How this is amazing. So yeah, so super shout out to that. That was mega cool. But yeah, so the game ended up 37-32 to Ricky. So yeah, which is again what my list is posted.
Yeah, super close.
So it's fine. It's okay. I lose every game 12-8. That's okay. So that's the dream. So I was I wasn't disheartened, but I was obviously like this was the point where I was like, okay, maybe I should like maybe I shouldn't have. Sure, I was under prepped, but now
Yes.
I'm kind of underhanded
Yeah.
because my list also isn't. I didn't feel like like the list I designed had the capacity to
Hmm.
outplay these lists, right? Or just
Yes.
raw damage through them. So which is a classic mistake.
Mm. I
um,
do recall you messaging like in the Teamlit chat, and you were like,
yeah.
"Trees are trash."
Yeah, and I meant the fact that the physical trees, I've tried so hard to like mitigate them in every way. Every game it feels like I have to be like, right, okay, let me do 8D chess to work out in 4 turns time where this tree is not going to be a problem for my opponent. I have
Yeah.
to be like, right, okay, because I can't put it anywhere near him because they'll get fight with two and nothing dies for free.
Hmm. Yes.
And they'll just charge it and things. You can't give them reader point charge. You can't tag things and then put a tree near it
Hmm.
because then they'll retreat into it and fight. And you're like, you have to do like this amazing mini game every time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was day one. So day one was not ideal results wise, but I had a great time.
Hmm.
We hung around with a lot of the Scandinavians,
Yes.
and obviously all the American guys were there. And then we had Lex over from the Netherlands, and then we had a couple of UK boys,
Hmm.
4 or 5 UK boys. So yeah, so we had a good squad. To sort of hang around,
Nice.
and then
That's pleasant, at least.
yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was really good. We had a great time. And then
Bring on day
got to
two,
go
I
for day
guess.
two. Day two was thing. So what was nice about this is that because you're staying in the hotel, you just come down, go straight to the venue because it's in the
Hmm.
venue. So
Yes.
it means you can come down like 10 minutes before the event, which
Hmm.
is great. Um, there was drama day one, by the way, that I didn't mention, which was that
Oh.
me and Tom Guan almost didn't make it to the to game one because we were napping.
Okay.
Um,
That's fair.
uh, um, so I got a lot of messages day one being like, "Where are you?" I was just in bed. It's fine. It's okay. So yeah, so day two. So right now I know. So basically, once you've lost 2 games in your bracket,
Hmm.
you cannot go through. There's no physical way.
Yes.
If you go 3-1, you can still qualify,
Yeah.
just about, because you play a shadow round, or just go through if you're like the highest win in that.
Hmm.
Um, but like once you've lost 2, that's it. It's over, which is fine. So woke up with no stress basically
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
these because
There's a lot
like
of
at this point
pressure,
it's
of course, building up. Like you're at the
there's a lot of
World
inherent pressure. Yeah,
Championships.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. But
Hmm.
but inherently not that much pressure.
Yeah.
So because of the fact that I can't qualify now, so now the games don't. I know that my opponent knows that. So in theory, it should be
Yeah.
easier to play these games. Basically, is kind of how it works. So I played Boggy B from Serbia.
Oh, nice.
He was lovely. He was
Hmm.
great. We had a great time. Um, his voice was absolutely gone.
Oh
Um,
no.
clearly from partying too hard. No,
You at the
nah,
World
Boggy was yeah.
Championships.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
drinking. Drinking time.
No, we had a no, we had a really really good game, really really good time, which was great because I was sad that we didn't because the Serbians looked like such good fun at Worlds at like
Hmm.
AOS Worlds, and everybody reported how amazing they were and stuff like that, and I never really got to meet any of them
Yeah.
because we didn't play and things like that. So it was really really good to meet Boggy and play with him. So that was great. Um, and then yeah, so he was playing Skaven.
Ooh.
Um, which was fun. He was obviously it was new Skaven
Hmm.
or relatively new Skaven. Doesn't feel new, but it is new. So he had Thankwall, 2 units of Storm Fiends, 1 reinforced, some like reinforced rat ogres. Basically, not shooting is kind of it is not
Mm.
shooting, but not rattling guns is the
Yes.
gist, right?
Yes.
So it was interesting. I got completely caught out turn one. because I didn't know that. I don't know how I didn't. Maybe I knew and I forgot. I just hadn't processed that the Skaven Deep Strike for the in this subfaction was in
Yes.
my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hadn't processed that, right?
Yes.
So turn one, I move up, and he's like, "Cool, I'm gonna bring on my Storm Fiends now,
Mm-hmm.
like 9 away from your Tree Lord," and I'm like, "Oh, that's not great." Um, and then I was like, "Well, it's fine, it's okay. Like, it's not that dramatic. It was just like the, oh yeah." And I was like, "That's super okay." And I was like, "Well," and then Boggy was like, "Well, you can like I'm 9 away because I'm gonna move up and fight you." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "But you can." He was like, "But I'll give you the option to charge because obviously I'm 9 away, right?" He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"You might as well try and
Yes.
roll it." Actually, I think I was further than 9 away. I think it was like 11 away or something like that. And I obviously rolled boxcars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it meant that the Storm Fiends were stuck in combat, or the 3 were stuck in combat with the Tree Lord, which they can't kill
Yeah.
because he heals at the end of every turn. So then they were stuck. And then in his turn, the 6th went into the Lady of Vines, who was in cover, and obviously it took -1 to hit, so she's -2 to hit
Mm-hmm.
on a 3-up save, and they don't really have much rend, and she can't be shot.
Yeah.
So they didn't kill her. For 2 turns in a row, they just couldn't do any damage to her. She had the 5-up board as well. And I was like,
Nice.
"Oh, this is." I was like, "Okay, so when it's a melee army that has to come to you and like you can play around, actually it's fine because then the sides just rinse through them when they
Yeah.
get into them, obviously." So I was like, okay, so if we're playing, be it like B tier list, like well, not B tier list, that's unfair to Pocky, but his list is good. But when you're playing like that kind of not that top tier level,
Yes.
it feels a lot more Warhammery.
Yeah, like
Than just I don't.
non-optimized
Yeah, exactly
melee
right.
list. Put it
Yeah,
that way.
exactly right. So yeah, so that was so we had a really really lovely game, and I won 48-42. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously 12-8
Yes.
because I can't remember more than that. Uh,
Anything
yeah, it
else
was.
is much beyond the capabilities of
Yeah,
the trees.
you can't really because you can never really take doubles with
Yeah.
this specific list. The twist roll being actually good in this matchup
Yeah.
finally, because
Took him 3
-3
games.
to yeah, it took them 3 games, but they became relevant. They're kind of fine. They kind of do what they do. Like they're pretty chill. I was actually pretty impressed with them.
They're
Not
just chill
like
guys
they're just chill
and
guys. I was
gals.
pretty impressed with them, to be honest. I thought they were fine.
Hmm.
I thought they did their job actually kind of very well. But I don't know if you need them to do that.
Hmm.
I don't know if you need that job done, but if you do, they're good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that was really nice. That was a really nice game to wake up to and play. That was awesome.
Hmm.
And then we went into round 4, which is the which is the last game of day 2, and I
Hmm.
played Ben Sava,
Oh yeah.
um, who is someone who I haven't seen in a while.
Hmm.
So I know Ben decently well. I've had commission painting from him before. Obviously, he's like Bezzy's with Owen, who's a very good
Yes.
friend of mine. And I've played Ben once before at LGT like 4 years ago,
Oh
maybe.
god.
It was a while ago. It might have been 4 years ago, but the time is non-existent.
Yes.
But we played once and we had a really really good game. So we played again. He was playing Soulblight.
Hmm.
Um, and this battle plan was I believe it was Scorched. No, it wasn't Scorched. It might have been Feral Foray. It was a 6 objective mission,
Yes.
basically.
Hmm.
Which in my head I was like, I'm playing Sylvaneth, that's great. And then I was like, oh wait, but my list is
Mm.
which is a theme.
The list is not bad.
Um yeah. So I was like, oh wait, actually this is interesting. Um
Hmm.
so Ben played really well. It came down to effectively Ben coming in and winning prior was kind of
Hmm.
the big decider because it meant that I lost control of he could come in and actually push through as opposed to getting stuck.
Hmm.
Um, so it ended up being a 42-32 loss
Mm.
to me on that one.
Yeah.
Just because I couldn't as soon as I start losing stuff,
Hmm.
and I don't roll 4-ups, which I didn't. So for reference, I didn't roll a 4-up on day 2.
Oh.
So yeah, so that happens, which is fine. Again, if you roll 4-ups, best army in the game. If you don't, absolutely useless.
Yeah.
It was funny talking to the Sylvaneth guys as well. They were like, "Yeah, I just they were like, yeah, but you just come back." And I was like, "See that there? There's a
The
skill that
fulcrum.
I do not possess." Yeah.
It's like playing Bellacore, but harder.
Yeah. Like it's it's okay. Um, but yeah, no. So we had a really good game. So going into day 3, we're coming out of the pods now. So this
Yes.
is where the pods end on day 2. There's 2 more days left, but you come out of the pods now, and then you get allocated into a bracket effectively, and then you can only play people in that bracket, which is fine. And at this point, you're kind of more invested. This is where it gets a bit weird because a lot of my friends and a lot of the people who I'm invested in are playing in the finals.
Yeah.
So you're kind of playing your game, and you're like, I want to know what's over there,
Yeah.
because they all happen at the same time. So this so this is where things got fun. So there was a shadow round.
Hmm.
Um, so we got no, yeah. So sorry. So on the evening of that night, there were shadow rounds. Um, and there was 6 shadow rounds, I think, in total, maybe 5.
Yeah.
There were some really, really good games to watch in there. There's some really, really good Warhammer. Um, but yeah, so just thought I'd think 'cause the shadow round is like deciding who of like the 3 ones in the bracket get through,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
who
yeah.
didn't already make through, basically, to round out the top 16. Um, and then we, yeah, so then we just chilled that evening. Um, went for dinner, and then I think it wasn't that evening. No, it wasn't. So then we went to we decided that I went to a diner until like 1
Hmm.
a.m. I think with Fred, who was playing in the Shadowlands,
Okay. Yeah.
and the guys from over there. Yeah, and then day 3, more Warhammer.
Hmm.
This is where it gets hard to wake up for Warhammer. I
Yeah.
love Warhammer, but day 3 is the word
It's rough.
day 3. Not my
Hmm.
favorite words. Uh,
It's like actually playing at Worlds, but you know you've got another day after it.
yeah. And also it's like it's also knowing that like your games don't. It's not that they don't matter because that's not fair.
Yes.
Um, but they don't. You can't compete
Hmm.
for anything now.
Yeah. They don't
So
necessarily have
because
an impact on like final
yeah,
standings
exactly. And
much,
I don't
right?
want to be negative because it's not a
Yes.
negative comment at all. But it's because the way the mitigation factor that they have at the event is that they obviously it's internet. They design it to be an international event, so you're always playing for points for your country,
Yes.
right? That's what you're always trying to do, which is great if there's not 4 people from Wales.
Hmm.
Um, so it's still fun because we still get to we still get to finish like 9th as a country
Hmm.
in the
Nice.
AOS rankings. But like you know, in the scheme of things, it's I think what we'll try and do next year is I'll try and do like a maybe a best Welshman or something like that to give you some incentive to do something
Hmm.
like internally
Yeah.
to try and do something for that. But yeah, so come down. We play the next game. I play in the morning. I play against Mike Martin,
Hmm.
who's also from England.
Yeah.
So he's from the UK. Who I hadn't met before. Well, it's not strictly true. I met him like that weekend before,
Oh yeah.
and then played him. So that was really good. So he was playing Lumineth.
Hmm.
He was playing the Techless 20 Sentinels, two Spirits of the Wind, 5
Yeah.
wind charge, 5 wind chargers, that kind of stuff, right? And
Hmm.
then with Mage, the kind of the list you'd see pre FAQ,
Hmm.
um,
Yes.
basically. And when I talked to him, he just explained that he played a lot with that list and didn't really have time to change, which is super fair.
Mm, yeah.
So he just like continued playing with it. Um, and yeah, so it's interesting because I was like, I can take 3 months of this because foxes don't exist anymore.
Hmm.
Um, then paired into them, which is fun.
Hmm.
But but it's actually fine because I can mitigate a lot of it because most of my monsters don't fly, which is helps
Yes.
a lot actually. So so we had a great game. We had a really really good time. We had a couple of beers, which is always the dream. It was a very close game.
Mhm.
We were playing on Jaws of Galley,
Oh yeah. Mhm. So
which
5
means that you have your
objectives, weird
it's always
deployment.
going to be a close game. It's always going
Yeah.
to be a close game. It's impossible for it not to be. Um, so we kind of danced around a lot. I kind of went in, did some damage, came out with the usual.
Mhm.
And then I got a double and got in killed Teclis, and that basically decided it.
Yeah.
And then I and then I ended up winning. So I got a double. I killed Teclis and tagged Sentinels. So you would think it would be a big win, but it's not. It's a 42-36.
Mm.
It's a 12-8. Is what it is. Um,
The king of 12 eights.
yeah. I mean, on that battle plan, it's also it's unless you
Yes.
really smash, it's very hard not to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, so that was that one. So we had a really really lovely time in that game as well. All of my games were great always.
Mhm.
We're here for vibes. Uh, and then round 6. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm even now, I think, ish. And
Yeah,
then
you're 2 and 3.
yes, yeah, 2 and 3 now. Sorry. So then I get rewarded with 12 rattling guns.
Yay!
um. So I played against Zachary Shin.
Yes.
Zach's great. We had a good time, but fuck my life. It takes so long.
Mhm.
The like the the rolling of the dice to like shoot a tree, for example,
Yes.
right? They're like, I'm gonna put rattling guns here and I'm gonna shoot a tree, like the physical tree, right? It's
Mhm.
like
The one thing.
they're like the rolling the fucking bro's getting a fucking I don't know. Like it's
It's a
so
wrist workout for
it's
sure.
and
And
you're
you're
like
doing maths
I
in
don't
your
know.
head as well.
And you're like I have no you're like yeah you're trying to like keep up but you're like okay like I don't know man this is you're like there you're like here's your saves you're like okay like
$18d6.
you're just both locked in
400
for
attacks.
fucking yeah you're like yeah exactly right you're just like I hope you sign up for a workout because that's what you're getting.
Mhm.
So it was fine. We had a good game. Again I didn't win the key prior, which like swings this game pretty badly because
Yes.
I have to make myself vulnerable to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and it helped that Palisade, so I could play around a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
in the end, it was a in the end it was a 48. No, it was a 48 28. I think in this one, so it was more than a 12-8 this time. Yeah, because I played to push for a double basically to try and
Mhm.
win.
Yes.
That makes sense because I was like, I need to. I was like, I'm here for 4 hours, if not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll push for a double, and then we can try and push from there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's okay. Um, Especially with no diffs. So yeah, so that was a good game. So that was the end of that day.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then so I'm 2 and 4 now,
Yeah.
I think. That's right. Yeah, 2 and 4, which is great.
Mhm.
So we came to do, right?
Vibes.
Um, came for the vibes. Um, and then that I'm pretty sure it was that evening. I'm getting my evenings mixed up now, but
Yes.
basically after that, we decided what would be more fun than me and Owen
Mhm.
playing against Hazel and Matt Goldsborough,
Mhm.
um, in a 4,000 point doubles game.
Oh God.
So so I took photos of this. So we'll have photos. But
Isn't it here? Yeah.
yeah, so we spent like 3 hours until they kicked us out, basically, playing this game of 4,000 points of eels um, against the best score in the Sylvaneth.
Oh God.
So that was great fun. We were also very drunk, so that was an interesting experience. Um, so yeah, so that was a great great evening.
Yeah.
If for those who are interested, the Deepkin won, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they have buffs that work across armies. We obviously don't. So
Oh no.
yeah. So that was fun. We had a really, really good time.
Hmm.
So then we came into the final day.
Hmm. Day 4.
Big, big. So we went out for a really nice dinner that evening as well. And
Hmm.
then obviously I'm like, okay, I'm 2 and 4, right? Like pure vibes. I want to go to the table. I want to pure
Yes.
vibe this, especially because this is now the semi-final and the final game of
Hmm.
the World Championships, right? So
Yes.
like, and like Casper and Ronja were playing. So
Hmm.
Casper Gasmosa from Denmark, and then and then Ronja from Sweden.
Ronja
Two
Anderson.
of like
Yes.
Ronja, it is Anderson, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So Ronja Anderson from Sweden, and then that's an insane game to
Hmm.
watch. I'm pretty sure it was live streamed.
Yes, I think
Anyone,
it was. Yeah.
anyone even vaguely interested in Warhammer, go watch that game. Holy heck, it was a great game,
Hmm.
and it's like peak Warhammer to many extents. So
Yes.
and then so I'm like, okay, who am I playing? And then I get Noah from Team US.
Noah.
Yeah.
What's he
Well,
doing in the beer bracket?
yeah,
Huh?
we were having a great, yeah. There was actually quite a few of us down there. We kept seeing each other, being like, "You're not supposed to be here."
Like the Spider-Man
You're not
meme.
supposed. Yeah, exactly. Like the. uh,
What
bro.
are you doing?
Yeah. So yeah. So we played. He was playing Stormcast.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his list is it's he so he likes this list, okay, right?
Yes.
But it has your favorite boy in it. It has Ionis in it. Okay.
The big man himself.
So the so this list is 6 long strikes, 6 paladors, the shooty paladors,
Yes.
reinforced units of judicators with the bolt storm, I
Hmm.
suppose, for the manus charge.
Yes.
And then Ionis, basically. And then a
Hmm.
unit of reinforced reclusions as well. All kinds of stuff in here.
Sure.
So
Grab bag of tricks.
exactly. We played on Battle for the Pass,
Hmm. Yes.
which is a little bit better for me. And yeah, basically the game came down to I rolled I think it was an 8-inch counter charge
Hmm.
with it was something like that. With the scythes into Ionis,
Yes.
and then obviously 3 up 5 because I can still counter charge on 5 feet.
Yes.
So rolled the 3 up,
Hmm.
burn 3, lifted Ionis,
Nice. Yeah.
and then one prio.
Oh God.
And then from there it was then I won basically. Like there's
Hmm.
no like we had an amazing time.
Yes.
It was really good. No, it was always great to play. I played him last year as well. This event.
Mhm.
Um,
Let me guess. 12-8.
so
Oh.
you're actually wrong. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm just gonna check so I don't lie. This was a 26-39.
26 to
So
39.
it's like a 14-6.
No, isn't it a 13-7? Because it's always like 4-point
It's probably. I
increments.
think it is. I think it
A
is a
12-point
13-7.
diff makes. Yeah.
Yeah, but not 12-8.
Not a
That's the important
12-8.
thing.
Yes.
So hype. So so that was really good. So then we rushed over and then we watched the ending of Casper and Ronja's game
Hmm.
with Christopher, who deserves a shout out for how stressed he was. So Christopher is Casper's brother,
Yes.
and
The brotherly duo.
he was like doing sit ups. He was jumping up and down. He was so stressed for his bro.
Hmm.
And it was a really the ending of that game is insane. Like I've never seen
Hmm.
anything like it. Um, like Casper had to, like there's like 2 million things that have lined up to this point that are
Yes.
all insane. And then to win the game, Casper has to retreat with 1 prosecutor, not and roll, take D3 mortal wounds, not take 2 mortal wounds from that. And then, so he has to roll a 1 or a 2, and then not take any damage from recovering fire from the pinks or get countercharged.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and it worked. It was mental. So that was insane to
Obviously.
watch. Yeah, obviously, right? But there was like a million things that happened before that, so it was a really, really cool game to watch. That was
Nice.
awesome. So then, so yeah, so I'm 3 and 4 now. Woohoo.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, and then the final round, I was like, I want to play against something fast so I can go watch the final. That was my.
Yes.
I was like, I need something to chin me or get chinned. I was like, I can't. I don't want a 4-hour game when it's
Okay.
the final now.
Let me guess what you played.
Okay, guess.
Soulblade.
No, that would have been a meme though. I'd have been like, oh, come on. No, I did get my wish. I did get my wish. I played Slaves to Darkness.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I'm like, perfect. All right, cool. So, it's Slaves to Darkness. It's 6 Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bellacore, of course.
Yes.
10 Chosen Knights of Nurgle. The Vanguard
What
also
else?
Nurgle. Yeah, exactly. What else? The Furies, Chaos Warrior, Reinforcing Chaos Warriors, the Dream.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'm gonna go in. I won the roll off. He's a 2-drop. So I
Yeah.
won the roll off. He gave him first team of forwards. I went in basically.
Yes.
And then sorry, I turned 2. I went in. And then I was like, okay, well, there's like Chaos Warriors in front of me, so I'll just go into them with my whole army,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll set up. And if I double, I'll just kill the Vanguard. That's fine. That's okay. Sure.
Yes.
And then if they come into me, I still fight. 3-5 first. Sure. I was like, perfect. And then I've never seen anything. I did Metamorphosis on like a for 6 mortal wounds.
What?
Yeah, so I did 6, and then I killed. This is into the Chaos Warrior in front, right?
Yes.
And then I did another. Oh, shooting went through, did 4 damage. Lady of Vines shot and did 6 damage. Because it's D6 damage. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then I charged in, and then Alarielle, I can't remember, but basically there was a few other bits, and then Alarielle charged in, and she does D6 to infantry
Yes.
on a 3-up, and she did 6. So I
Damn.
lifted the Chaos Warriors before combat. And I was like, I sort of just fight the Vanguard now. Nice.
Why not?
Yeah. And then I went in. I lost the prio, but because I'd already neutered the Vanguard and they'd used it twice. Yeah, and then it went slightly slower then. But then yeah, basically I won because of that. Effectively, it was nuts. I was like, okay, sure. I was like, I'll
Nice.
just do D6. What? I've
Ooh.
never not rolled a 1 on that, so I was like,
Mhm.
let's go. So that was awesome. So we had a really thing time. I forgot to. Sorry, I forgot to. I played. It was a lovely gentleman called James Housey.
Yes.
Or House. I'm not sure how to pronounce that surname, but James was great. We had a really good time.
Battle
He.
plan was.
Yeah, it was just in my. I got excited. I was like, yeah. Actually, yeah. Got into Vanguard. It never happens with this list anyway. But yeah, we had a lovely game, and then I sort of we finished pretty decently in time. It's
Yeah.
again very hard to not finish in time. It's
Yeah.
very hard to do, generally speaking, because
Mhm.
4 hours is so long. There's
Yeah.
multiple times where I would leave I'd be like, "Hey, do you want a drink? I'll go get us like a bucket of beer." Like
Mhm.
go get a bucket of beer, come back, like chat for ages, then like deploy, and then play a
Mhm.
first turn, and then you'd hear on the audio because they have like time things. They'd be like, "You should have now finished deployment," and you'd be like, "What?"
Nice.
Pause is so long.
Yeah.
um, so which was nice because it was relaxing. But yeah,
Mm.
and then so that was how I finished. So I ended up winning that game, 42-38. So an
Mhm.
11-9. It's a minor.
Nice.
It's a minor win, but sure. So I ended up 4-4,
Yes.
basically, which was fine with that list. That's
Mhm.
okay. And then we zoomed over to watch the final, and it was Casper and Rasmus, and then it was again. Sorry, fuck's sake, I said the wrong name. Help! Right, Quinn, you're gonna have to edit that one, I'm afraid.
I will.
Okay, so we zoomed over. So I finished my game. We zoomed over, and then we got to watch Casper versus Jesper.
Yes.
In their final game, with Jesper playing his catapults list,
Yes.
and Casper playing his
The Stormcast.
the Stormcast variant, I want to call it, because it's not the standard. It's still a lot of it's standard.
Yes. It's
But
more
the
prosecutors than you would expect.
Yeah. So yes, and then Casper ended up winning, bringing much pride to the Danes. And then that was it basically. So then once that was done, we went to the award ceremony, which is warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like maybe like 400 people, maybe a little bit less than that. But like,
Juicy.
maybe that's dramatic. I don't know. I don't know how numbers work, but there's a lot of people in a
Yes.
small camp room, and you have to wait. You go through all the awards for each game system. So you got like
God.
all the Underworlds get their awards, all the Warcry, all the 40k, all
Mhm.
the AOS, and then you go back through, and then you have to wait to get your awards and stuff like this. Like I'm not sure there's a good system that you can do because there's so many people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got to sit through that, and then once we did that, we came back out, and then we just hung out until like 1 a.m.
Nice.
I went to bed relatively early. I went to bed like 12:31 a.m. I think a lot of the guys stayed up later. A lot of the guys and gals stayed later, but I had to fly at like 5 a.m.
Oh no.
So I was like, maybe I'll sleep.
just a tiny nap though.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah. Yeah. And then so I was pretty. I mean, it was a great event. It was so
Yeah.
good to hang out with everyone.
Mhm.
Which is the main reason to go. I honestly wasn't disappointed with my performance because I thought I was gonna be. After day one, I was like, okay, but like I wasn't disappointed with my performance at all. I feel like
Yeah.
I played fine with what I had. I was disappointed with I kind of misjudged how under prepped I was, I guess.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, I can't. In my head, I was like, I'm not good enough to beat the people who were good. In my head, and I
Yes.
probably shouldn't have. I probably should have gone, but still take a good list, Matt. You idiot.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I suppose it's just a huge investment for a flight to go over the hotel. Probably not cheap either. And then
I mean,
time investment in general.
I mean, for me, I mean, you're right, but also the reason I go to these events is the Warhammer.
Yes.
Right? Obviously, if it wasn't Warhammer, I wouldn't play Warhammer. But it's also the people, right? Like I go to these big international events so that I can meet new people, meet all the people who I've already met, and all the amazing nationalities and stuff like that. Like
Yes.
that I get to meet that I would not meet otherwise, right? That's one of the big reasons I travel to all these events is that I get to meet the best of the best people in all the regions I get to go to. So yeah. So
Nice.
then I was then I had to do an 8-hour flight to California after that.
Nice.
And then I had a week, and then I had another tournament in California.
Oh, we'll talk about that next week. But we're recording this straight after. So for you, the viewer,
spoilers.
You'll have to wait a week. I get to wait. Yeah. I'll just have to wait 5 minutes. Yeah. So
if that.
If that. So thank you very much. Great insight, obviously. I hope to go to the World Championship next year myself, though gold tickets are hard to come by these days, especially in
small European countries.
Yeah. I can like try and coax a couple of tournament organizers to maybe give out golden tickets, but that's just like I don't want to force any TOs into making that decision.
No, of course, yeah. It's a hard balance always.
Yes. But yeah, thank you very much, Matt, for joining us today.
Thanks for hosting.
Yes, mate. And yeah, if you want to stay up to date with what we do, check out our socials, link down below. If you want to get notified when we upload more videos, just subscribe, hit the bell. If you're interested in Matt's thoughts on Sylvaneth, why trees are actually bin, and put a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video in general, just leave a like and we'll post more. So thank you everybody so much for watching, and remember,
No
you
extra points.
for being a